So, here we go. So we are talking about a conversation, a dialogue between two aspects of our being. One is our intellect, and the other one is our nefesh. Nefesh is our soul. And we started yesterday that the first question that the intellect asks the nefesh, the soul, that do you have clarity in your connection and desire to be close to Hashem? If the answer is yes, then the second question was, if you remember, then when or how are you going to start to fulfill your obligations to Hashem? Because once you recognize all the wonderful things that Hashem is doing for you, then there's a natural progression to wanting to repay God. If you're hearing the beeping, just so that I'm sure it's not only in my head, it's the fire alarm, and you don't have to run out of here. It just means that somebody was smoking or vaping next to one of the alarms.
No fire drills here?
We had a fire drill 13 years ago when there was an actual fire.
So that's not drill then?
Well, if you would like to have a drill, we can.
No.
So get under the table. All clear. The guard pressed the button. That's it. That's all he does. There was a fire not too long ago, and that was not fun. The workers, their kitchen caught on fire, and it was a real balagan. Everybody smelled like burnt toast. So we ended yesterday with the intellect saying to the nefesh that you have to be honest with yourself. Honest with yourself with regard to your true connection or feelings towards Hashem. And if it's true that you truly want to become closer to Hashem, that you want to start paying your obligations to Hashem, so says the nefesh, says the intellect of the nefesh, if you're true, then you have to start performing. And the nefesh says that my connection to Hashem is weak. And my desire is really fake. It's simply what I've been raised to do. I grew up religious, and so I just do what religious people do. So what do religious people do? They wear yarmulkes. So I put on a yarmulke. It's not because it's Hanukkah to put on a yarmulke. Nobody gets the joke. Never mind.
I understand.
Yes. Good, thank you. Finally.
Good joke.
I don't know if it's that good. Dovid didn't get it.
I don't get the joke either.
You don't remember when you were in my house that they played a song?
Yeah. And someone this one, yeah.
So, said there are things that we do because we just grew up that way. We believe in God because that's how we were raised to believe in. Do you believe in God? Yes. Put on tefillin every day? Yes. Keep Shabbos? Yes. Good. You eat kosher? Yeah, I'm good. Okay. But it's empty. There's no fire inside. You're just doing it because for generations and generations, that's what our people do. And therefore, it's sort of, when people, in America, I don't know if it's still true, but when I was in school, you had homeroom. Is there homeroom in high school still?
Yeah.
So in homeroom, we would have to say a pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And then we had to sing the national anthem. What?
Just surprising.
Yeah, that's what it
How we
was.
do it.
Doesn't happen in South Africa.
It doesn't? Maybe it's because the school you went to.
No, most schools don't do it.
Did you go to a public school or a Jewish school?
What school did you go to?
No, well, it was like a private school, but it wasn't a Jewish school.
Uh-huh. Mhm. What about in King David?
We did the South African anthem and the Israeli anthem.
Both.
Yeah.
See?
But only
So-
on, like, Friday.
It's only on Fridays?
Only Fridays.
When we'd have like formalities like assemblies or
Mhm.
things, we'd always go.
No, so we had it every morning. You started your day with a homeroom, and you just did it. You didn't really think about what does the Pledge of Allegiance mean. What does it mean when I say I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. It is-
Indivisible.
What?
One nation under God, indivisible.
With liberty and justice.
for all.
Yes.
Not the indivisible part.
Sorry.
I don't know. This is my country.
Which is your country?
Well, it's this one now.
Oh, this one. You bought this one.
American Jew. American Jew. I live in America, but this is my home.
Okay, fine. Let's not pan the camera so that they don't.
Please don't pay. No.
Yeah, they don't want. We don't want the immigration, or when you enter the United States, for them to pick you up because of your lack of patriotic feelings. But all kidding aside, when I recited the Pledge of Allegiance, it wasn't really. I didn't feel anything. I didn't sense that there's a sort of a connection to the flag, Sometimes you feel it in 4th of July, that of what a great country America is. I want to take that feeling and say, sometimes our being Jewish is sort of just going through the motions. This is how we grew up. And this is what we do. And then really there isn't any true fire or connection to the Torah, to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's okay. It's perfectly normal. That's fine. So then the question is, how do you get out of that rut? How do you get out of the mindset of just going through the motions? So says the intellect to the soul that the way out is through greater understanding of the truth of Judaism. That is, the way to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the way to connect to the Torah, is by learning it, understanding it, and focusing on the why. Why do we do this? Why do we do that? Where does this come from? I spent almost an hour trying to explain something, a very basic concept of Judaism, to a student who, as far as he was concerned, it wasn't really Jewish, this concept. And I had to show him, like, listen, this is basic stuff. Basic stuff. And it's through learning Torah that we connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Seichel says that the pill, the medicine, in his metaphor that we talked about yesterday, for curing the ailments of the nefesh, of the soul, is going to be bitter, but it's worth it because the nefesh could get out of its ailment. And then the nefesh asks the intellect, what is the bad food that I got used to? That is, what brought me to this situation that I don't really feel connected. I don't really feel on fire and ignited to serve Hashem. How did I get to this place? Nachshon, what do you say? No comment? It's okay. You're allowed to space out. So she got that antenna going. It's okay. It's like this. It's cool. You're probably picking up Lebanon. So the intellect says, yes. You know what food caused this? Can anybody guess what that would be? Yochanan, you're pretty sharp. What do you think? What could it be? What do you think the nefesh of all of us consumes that causes it to be disconnected from really the fire of spirituality?
Bittul Torah.
Okay, that's one idea.
Like almost the repetition, if you're not growing or learning, the monotonous repetition keeps you stagnant.
Okay.
Lashon Hara.
Lashon Hara, okay. All of those are good ideas. But that's not what he says. He says something greater than that I think includes all of your answers. And what it is, he says, is the desire that you had. Those desires to physicality are the ones that caused you a disconnect from true connection to God. The more you are connected to physicality, the less connected you are to Hashem. The more stuff you want, the more physical pleasure you're seeking, the farther and farther you are from Hashem. Zeu. By the way, they asked about you on Sunday. I was up at Haifa University. They wanted to know where you were. I showed them your photo to the guard. He's like, yeah, where's that guy? What?
I think the guy from Haifa it's like a Mossad agent.
Don't say that.
Yeah, it's being
Just
recorded.
joking, yeah.
It's being recorded. Now the Arabs will know.
Just joking. Yeah.
But I think you're the one. You're the true agent.
Shh.
He remains silent. He cannot deny or affirm the report. How much time do I have today, Dan? Do you know? Okay. So let me know once you figure it out.
30 minutes?
30 minutes from now? Okay. Can I have 33?
Sure.
Okay. So now, since we know the desire for physicality is the one that pulls us away from Hashem, says what specific characteristic, moral characteristic, is it that started this decline? Let's pause for the entrance of one of our students. Sir, how are you? Good. I almost didn't start class because you weren't here. But I was convinced to start the class. You okay? Because you left in a hurry. Your room, you ran out of your room. I saw you running. Everything okay? So, the intellect says there are many bad moral characteristics that you have. Not just one. But there are two main ones. One, the love of physical pleasure. Loving physical pleasure. Now, you don't have to get, into topics that are not modest. What are you looking around? You know what I'm talking about, do you not?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I knew it. I when I interviewed him, I was worried about that with him. But we're talking about food, drinking. Some of you like to drink alcoholic beverages. Correct? Those things have an effect on you. Also, the desire for intimacy. It's number 3, not number 1. You were at number 1. Number 3. And general, he says, the rest of the demands of the body. The body decides that it needs sleep. Do you give the body what it wants? Or do you say no? I'm asking a question.
Sometimes
Sometimes you say what?
that you need to sleep. I think that's one of the things that you have to do. Like if you can't sleep, like you just won't function.
Okay. But what if it's, you just finished the Beik Ziti of our Sameach, famous Tuesday lunch. So you had a lot of carbs. And you go to your room, and that pillow says, psst.
That's different.
Oh, that's different.
I thought you were just talking about like the general. Yeah, that's not a healthy relationship. Like,
It's not a healthy relationship with your pillow.
yeah.
Smart. We all need sleep, Ben. Correct?
Yeah, we need sleep. That is an example of wanting sleep so there's two differences there.
But there is too much sleep.
I agree.
For example, Nachshon, is 14 hours a day too much? Yes. Does everybody agree that it's too much?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Baruch Hashem.
I don't think.
What about 12 hours?
That's
Nah.
still-
Yeah, it can be. Depends.
No, depends on adult underwear. Okay, we're not talking about adult underwear now.
At least 8 hours.
That's the minimum of 8 hours.
Yes, that's
Minimum. Like, do not wake him up if it hasn't been exactly minimum of 8.
Sounds like you're on the back.
What about 10 hours?
10 hours.
Pushing it.
Pushing it.
Be too much.
What?
On a Shabbos.
On a Shabbos, 10 hours?
Yes.
You gotta wake up for Shabbos.
Yeah, but remember, now Shabbos enters early. So you could be done with your evening meal by 8 or 9 p.m. Wait. Well, yeah, I'm just saying. Oneg Shabbos doesn't mean food. Oneg Shabbos could be sleep. So you can go to sleep at 8:30, sleep 12 hours, wake up at 8:30 and still be on time to some minyan. I'm not sure which minyan, but I'm sure you'll find a minyan that starts at 8:30. Yochanan, you seem to know where those are.
Of course, I like my sleep.
Okay, good. The body needs food, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Does it need as much food as we're eating? No. Does it need shawarmas? You could eat a salad. You could eat fish. That is, our standard of what we consider good food is sometimes outside the box, if you know what I mean. Yes, sir.
Are you not like, for some people, like, food is like a nice, like, it's like a very nice experience, like eating a nice quality meal. Like, is there an issue?
That
going
is,
out of your
yes, yes. That creates dependency, and you are essentially increasing something that's called your taiva, your desires. Our goal is to minimize our taivas, to get them under control. You're allowed to drink kosher wine. You're allowed to. Does it mean you're required to every day? Right? You're allowed to eat meat. Does it mean that you have to grill every day on the barbecue steaks?
You have to eat on Shabbos though, right?
What?
You have to eat meat on Shabbat, right?
Or Yom Tov. Yeah, basal v'yayin. Correct. But how many steaks should you have? 7? Where you need a wheelbarrow to wheel you into bed? Some of us have issues with food. Some of us have issues with the desires for drinking. Some have desires for the ladies. Why are you smiling? I just said ladies, he's got a smile from ear to ear. And he says that all of these desires, essentially, your body is dragging you down. Physicality, desire for physical pleasure, drags your neshama down. And he says, now there's another midah that he ties together a few terms together, which is the pursuit of kavod or honor and arrogance. There are people whose sole motivation for whatever they do is to be honored, respected. And that's what motivates them. Whatever they do, their whole cheshbon, they're all thinking about how this is going to bring me more and more attention. I will get respect. And sometimes the respect could be, when you're in yeshiva, there are guys who want to be respected, so they learn better. And they learn better because they expect getting respect from their fellow students. But it's all fake. Their sole motivations for learning is not Hashem, is not Torah, it's kavod. And kavod also is tied to arrogance. And seeking kavod means that you want to have authority over people. Tell people what to do. Nachshon. Yeah. Don't tell them my room number. Yes, sir.
So you say that these things are unhealthy or bad to have, right?
I'm reading what Chovos Halevavos says. It's not me.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not telling you what I
Yeah,
think.
of course. So how would one go about changing their intention? So let's say, for example, I would be a person who is really into honor or respect. How does one change their intention if that's a genuine thing that they're feeling, right? Like,
We will get to it. He will talk about it. So I don't want to answer, but just a simple is first be aware of what the motivation is. And once you have an awareness, start paying attention of how your decision making is being shaped by this desire for kavod or jealousy. And the way to fix it is to go to the other extreme, to grow in humility and humble yourself. So whenever you get somebody puts you up in the front row, kavod, you say, no. But it has to be genuine. Because there's also some people have what is called fake humility. They really are seeking kavod, but they want to get the kavod because of being humble. That's a problem. I still have 23 minutes left, for those of you who are wondering. Everything okay? So, once you have arrogance, then you don't have gratitude. They don't go together. People who are arrogant believe that whatever is coming to them, people owe them. Right, Hillel? You can't talk to me like that. Who do you think you are? And usually what the response is, who do you think you are? Well, now you have two people that don't know who they think they are. It's like the joke of a guy who went to an old age home and something happened, somebody touched his food. And he says to this woman, do you know who I am? She says, no, but the nurse is going to be here any minute. She'll tell you who you are. It's okay, relax. You know? People who are arrogant don't have an ability to be grateful, to appreciate what people do for them. They take it for granted. You owe me. I am God's greatest gift to humanity. Yes, sir.
Isn't a person supposed to believe that the whole world was created for them?
For what purpose? Finish that Gemara. So that you fix whatever is wrong here. It's a responsibility and an obligation, not a benefit. You're right, the Chazal say that. That you should see that the entire world was created for you, not for your pleasure. That you have a responsibility to make this world better. Or at least don't leave it any worse than you found it.
It's okay to see kavod. Is it okay to see kavod when you learn if it's going to ultimately, through that eventually you'll come to a place of you don't care anymore about the respect. You'll humble yourself through the learning as opposed to...
Yes, but shalom lishma. Yes, but that's not lishma. It's not for the sake of Torah. And sometimes it becomes an obstacle. Because it's sort of in your mind always that I'm not getting the recognition that I want. I have to do it more public. I have to make sure that people are noticing me.
Like that's the thing with like Jewish celebrities, like some of them don't like know how much to post like online because of that reason.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What?
Like
Jewish celebrities. What is that?
In the Jewish world, of whether or not, like, let's say a singer has an obligation to post himself learning Gemara or whatever it may be on the internet, and how much he should be doing so. How much is too much for himself because it could lead him astray.
Where's this machlokes?
I think it's a big focus.
Where is this? Where can I read about it?
Seems that it's talked about.
Where? Oh, here? In your mind? I've never heard this. So I'm interested in this.
I heard it from a podcast that's run by a guy who went to YU.
Yeah. So he says that it's a big problem.
I'm not saying
Or it's a machlekes whether they should or not.
I interviewed some famous Jewish singers,
Yeah.
and they were saying for themselves that they don't know how much that they should put of themselves out there because it could lead them away, but at the same time it could also inspire others. So that's an inner battle for them. So the singers were saying it, not him.
Okay. What do you think? What he just said. About what? About the war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. What?
That's political.
Who should we vote for? Who should win? Who are the good guys?
Depends.
Depends. Depends, huh? Depends are adult underwear again. Did you even know that Armenia and Azerbaijan are going to war?
I don't follow the news right now.
It's okay. It's not new. They've been doing it for generations.
Okay, yeah.
He's got a bigger military, Rabbi.
Who?
Yeah.
The Azeris, I think.
Apparently, yeah.
Look at me, huh? I know it. Okay. International relations for 7,000. An audio daily double. Do they still have that show? Jeopardy? It's still running?
I think so.
Maybe in the
A
Philippines.
different guy, I think the other guy was.
We don't have Jeopardy in the Philippines. Only
They what?
we don't have Jeopardy in the Philippines. Only Family Feud.
Only Family Feud.
In the Philippines, we have
I don't know. Family Feud is not for me. Survey says.
playing
The whole Matalon mishpacha could be up there.
That'll work. So, gentlemen, let's keep going. So how do we save ourselves from this problem of arrogance, of seeking power and control and authority and kavod? How do we work on ourselves? So he says, the Seichel says, first of all, you have to start reducing the extras. Extras of food, of drink, of clothing, of sleep, of rest, and all of this stuff. Yes, you need to sleep, but you don't need extra sleep. You need clothes, but you don't need the extra stuff. You need food, but you don't need 7 bowls of cereal in the morning. Do you need 5? No. What about 2? They're small bowls, right? Yeah, better. Otherwise, Michael's out of here. So there's something that is, we all have excess of stuff. How much space does a person really need? How big of an apartment or a house does a person need? But we fill it with all sorts of stuff. Right? How much stuff do you need in yeshiva? But there are people who pack their room with stuff that, they argue you can't really put the third person in here because I need all my stuff. What are you smiling? That you're looking at.
It's got all the space.
He's got all the space and you've got all the stuff. You just want to do a chalipin. Give me some of the space so I can put my stuff.
It's got both.
He's got both stuff and space? God damn it. So what happens with Yemenites? Lechutis. You give them a little bit, they take over the whole thing.
What if you want more space?
Louder.
What if you want more space for more Gemaras and more books?
Ein sof ladavar. There's no end to that.
Is it okay to want it for that?
Again, there's no end to that. You have to have an awareness of there is a point where too much is too much. Like you've been to my house. Do I have a lot of books? What? Yes? Tons of books?
I think it's
But I think I need more. I need more space for. My wife said no. No more. Which means that if I buy a book, I have to smuggle it in. And then, and the kids always bust me. Like, hey, we get. Like, I didn't. We didn't have this. Because there is too much. So we have to actually understand that when we are in this mode of extras, of excess, whatever it is, whether it's food, whether it's sleep, whether it's friends, how many friends do you really need? Like,
Good. Close circle, I think.
how many?
Like 4 or 5 good friends.
4 or 5 good friends. Zero. Everybody else? Sayonara. Okay. Friends, to be friends, take time. Investment of time and energy and money. Right? You have to treat them every once in a while. They have birthdays. You have to buy them a little cake. It takes time. When somebody meets me, my wife always says, listen, don't worry, he's not going to remember who you are. If you're not dead 500 years, he doesn't know who you are. He's like, that's how my mind works. The Rambam, yeah, But everybody needs a friend. But do you need 200 friends? Do you need 300 friends? Do you need clothes. Yeah. Do you need all the clothes that you have? This is sort of the key that he says to try to get control over the desires that you have for physicality. For example, there are certain places where you live, you need a car. If you live in LA, you cannot live without a car. Period. Nigma. Finished. Okay. So do you have to get a Land Cruiser? Or a Lexus? Or a BMW? No. You can drive around a Hyundai. It's not a BMW. There is a concept in Arabic that sometimes it affects people. That there's this Shufuni Anas syndrome. Shufuni Anas literally means, look at me, people. That is, a person buys a car because he wants the attention of people driving down the street. He's going to play this loud music, and everybody's going to look at him while he's driving on Westwood, cruising, and gets all the attention. By the way, I think it's not scientific, but the louder the music, the crappier the car. That's my sense. Because you don't need to play loud music when you have a really good car. But that's excess. That is, if you are buying things because you want people's attention, people to look at you for what you have and not for who you are, it's a problem. One of the interesting aspects of the Haredi community in Israel, but I think it's also in America, is that the reason Haredim wear what they wear, among the many reasons, is that there really is, nobody's dressing like this to get attention from other people, because they all wear the same. Which means you're not trying to get attention for what you have. But if you are trying to get attention, it's for who you are. For your midot, for your Torah learning, for the way you treat people. That's what you want to get noticed. You don't want to be noticed for your looks. And that goes for both girls and boys. Okay. Yes.
Can something like a car be a measure of success for someone, or is that like is that like, say I grew up very secular most of my life, and I've always dreamed of I've dreamed of having a nice fancy car. There's certain cars in my mind that like.
Which? Like, give me an example of a fancy car.
Fancy, like a Chevrolet, not a Chevrolet, like a what's it?
Corvette.
Corvette, that's the one. So I forgot.
I thought it was like Chevy. Like a Chevy. We'll do a collection for you. I mean,
Like just
how much is this? Like, isn't it like
they're stupid numbers? They're expensive.
Over 6 figures.
Everything's expensive.
Corvette is $100,000?
If you're talking about the C8, maybe, but
Yeah, new Corvette.
What I would
No.
want is over 100.
Yeah. I mean, if you were driving around in a 50K Corvette, nobody's gonna look at you.
Thank God. Then I guess that's my goal. But I won't be able to get in it. It's not very comfy. Okay, look. You should not define success by your amount of money that you have, the type of car you have, your house, or even what your wife looks like. That's not a healthy definition of success. There are people who are very successful in my mind that were dirt poor, had no money, but they were probably the most successful people on earth. So I think we need to define what success is, and then to see how do we express that success. But I think if you define success by financial standards, could be a big problem for you. Okay, I think it's a good place to stop, and then we'll continue next time.